Hey guys, today I'm going to show you a one card infinite negate combo with Deep Sea Diva. So I've shown you a one card infinite negate combo before, but this one is way more consistent, and I'll show you now. So we'll normal summon Deep Sea Diva. Deep Sea Diva will special summon Atlantean Prince from our deck. Atlantean Prince, we will send Atlantean Dragoons to our graveyard to add another copy of Dragoons. Dragoons from grave will activate, adding Lapis Dragon to our hand. Since Lapis Dragon was added to our hand by a card effect, we can summon it from our hand. Next, we have two tuners. We can use them to summon Halki Fibrax. Halki Fibrax will then summon Fishborg Launcher from my grave. It's basically it revives itself if all monsters in my graveyard are water monsters, and that's what we're gonna have. Since both of them are level 1, we can use both of them to link summon the new Bujin link monster, Bujinki Ahashima, and that monster can summon one monster from our hand, summon a monster with the same level from our graveyard, and then we have to immediately link summon, and we can summon the Dragoons, summon the Dragoon from graveyard, and then we can exease into Forstrix. Now Forstrix will of course detach one, add Singing Lanius to our hand. I just activated Fishborg Launcher now to revive itself, since everything in my graveyard is a water monster. Then we can special summon Singing Lanius, and then we can summon the Simorg Link monster by using 3 monsters, including a Winged Beast monster, which Forstrix and Singing Lanius were. Next, we can use these two, since both of them are water monsters. We can summon Union Carrier, and Fishborg Launcher banishes itself when it leaves the field when it's summoned by its own effect. So we summon Union Carrier. Union Carrier will equip Thunderbird to our Simorg, and it'll equip Thunderbird to our Simorg, and during our end phase, we can special summon Apex Avian from our deck, thanks to Simorg's effect. Now, this arrangement is kind of weird because Simorg doesn't point to Apex Avian, so it doesn't get protection. But even if your opponent does try to get rid of your Apex Avian, you can just negate it with our Thunderbird. So now, if our opponent ever activates an effect, Mist Valley Apex Avian's effect is when your opponent activates a card or its effect, target one Mist Valley card, return to the hand, and negate its effect. Okay. So you will bounce back our Mist Valley Thunderbird. Mist Valley Thunderbird's effect is when it is bounced back to the hand, you can special summon it, which is very useful because when our opponent activates effect, we will bounce back the Thunderbird, special summon it, and this is not once per turn, by the way. It's only once per chain, so you can activate this as many times as per turn as you want. When your opponent activates another effect, you can just bounce it back again, negate it, and you can just infinitely. The only weakness in this are against chain decks that chain tons of cards together, because its effect is only once per chain. But this you can solve that problem maybe by, if you have like a perfect hand, you can go into Cyber Dragon Infinity 2, because we will have, you can see it here, we will have Y-Strix on the field, and then we'll use the Y-Strix, and while the Y-Strix is on the field, we will summon Forstrix. Forstrix's effect will activate, triggering Y-Strix, which will set Soulshade Force to our field, and Soulshade Force will rank up our Forstrix from the grave into Cyber Dragon Infinity. So now, always save the Cyber Dragon Infinity if you have it when your opponent chains a card. Otherwise, you shouldn't, because it's chaining is the main weakness Also, Kaiju's or Sphere mode also fail to this. If your opponent has Super Poly, in the side deck we run Dragon Buster, so your opponent cannot activate Super Poly. If you know you're going up against something like Shadal's or maybe Rainbow Neos Turbo or something like that, you should run Dragon Buster, and it's just very useful. We'll go on to the deck profile now. Okay, so in our deck we have Apex Avion. This is how we negate everything our opponent controls. Thunderbird. Thunderbird is more of the problem card than Avion. Avion is perfect. It's perfectly balanced. It's hard to summon, but when you do, it's perfect. And Thunderbird is kind of unfair. Every time it bounces back to her hand, special summon itself. There's so many cards that are kind of broken because of this. Zephyros the Elite. I think it was Gen X Ally Birdman. That's limited. There's so many reasons why Thunderbird is broken. Next we have Mooling Glacier. It's pretty easy to have exactly 5 monsters in your graveyard in this deck, and if you're able to search Mooling Glacier, it is a discard 2 from your opponent's hand. One thing to note with this deck, most of the cards have effects when they're sent to the graveyard to activate another water monster's effect. That also triggers when you detach Xyz material from a water monster. So you have tons of synergy with Bahamut Shark. You can summon that off bujinki. Bahamut Shark can summon Totally Awesome. You can take this to a totally different deck in general, because you can probably set up a maybe 5 negate board if you have Totally Awesome, and then go into a Appaloosa of some sort. There's so many ways you can take this deck, it's insane. Oh yeah, so I was talking about Mooling Glacier. Next we have Mermaoil Abyss Megalo. Discard 2 other water monsters to special summon it, and then searches one of these 2 Abyss equipped cards. The discard 2 water monsters does trigger other Atlantean effects, and even Abyss Gund, so you can activate the Atlantean effects that are, you can just get tons of them on the board. If you discard maybe infantry and marksman, you can pop your opponent's board. Not your opponent's board. If you marksman is really just against Eldritch, but I'm going off topic here. Abysstius. In my last Mermaoil video, instead of searching Dragoons and Lapis Dragon, I searched up Abysstius and Lapis and Dragoons, because Abysstius can discard our Dragoons in order to send it to the grave. And Dragoons will trigger. It's an effect, and then I add Lapis Dragon. Doesn't matter how you do now. I think you might be able to do a similar thing right now. Oh no, you can't. You need the Dragoons in your hand for the bujinki effect. Yes, so we have 2 Lapis Dragon. We search it off Atlantean Dragoons. Pretty basic. It's a free summon. If you send Dragoons to grave to activate a water monster effect, maybe like Bahamut Shark, you can. It's a free special summon from the deck if you summon Lapis Dragon. Deep Sea Diva. I don't know why Konami unlimited this when we all knew that she was gonna get her own entire archetype. But Deep Sea Diva is really insane. Starts up so many combos. If you saw my last Mermaoil video, Deep Sea video, you'll see the 1 card King Calamity stop your opponent from doing anything at all. Fishborg Launcher is basically the glow up bulb type thing. Glow up bulb steam the cloak of her deck. It can special summon itself. It can special summon itself, which is perfect. I use Jet Synchron sometimes if I'm not going for the infinite negate combo. If maybe I'm just going for a generic nice board. You can get rid of one of these synchros. I use Jet Synchron if I want to get something like a Dragite on the field, but you can do whatever you want to. One thing I recommend, I should probably get rid of one of these for an Appaloosa because this deck can link spam. So what should we get rid of? Probably the Me Star Boy. Okay, yes, we have Appaloosa now. So now, where was I? Yes, I just talked about Jet Synchron. Atlantean Prince, this is always the monster you want to summon off Deep Sea Diva. Atlantean Prince can send an Atlantean monster straight from the deck to the graveyard to search a monster. You will always want to send Dragoons, cause Atlantean Prince, if you send Dragoons, Atlantean Prince is basically a +2. I'm pretty sure this deck will get hit in our next ban list, maybe limiting Deep Sea Diva, cause it enables so many combos, maybe like limiting Dragoons, cause Dragoons' effect is not once per turn, it's possible to search multiple cards off it. There's just so many options for this deck. Atlantean Heavy Infantry, once again, it's just a generic pop on your opponent's board. Marksman is for those Eldritch players, you know, just pop their set cards. You should really only run one, cause Infantry does come, is more useful than Marksman, because usually your opponent will have more face-up cards than face-down. Mermail Abysscund, if it's discarded, special summon a Mermail. So you'll have to hope that you already have a Mermail in your grave, which you will most probably have if you're summoning Abysscund. And I believe there's another Mermail that I've seen some people use. Yes, is this dude. When it's normal summon, discard a water, add a level 3 water from your deck to the hand. There are multiple great uses for it, but I don't really use it in this deck. Our Blackwing engine, triple Bora the Spear, 2 Zephyros. Really just if you're going into a Wystrix. You should only really go into Wystrix if you have Bora in your hand, which is why I use this. Then you're able to get an Avermax on the field, which is very powerful. And our last monster, 1 copy of Singing Lanius, just to add off Forstrix. If you already have Singing Lanius in your hand, you can use Forstrix to search Bora, then you can go into your Avermax anyways. Oh yes, I haven't told you, the Bora's Spear combo type thing, instead of going straight into Simorg, you summon Wystrix. Wystrix special summons Zephyros from your deck, and if you have Bora in your hand, special summon it. Then you can Xyz into another Forstrix, detach 1. Oh wait, I just realized I don't even run Soulshade Force, and I'm running Cyber Dragon Infinity. That's kind of dumb. I'll just get rid of that Soulshade Force. Soulshade Force, yes. So what I was saying, you go into Forstrix, you detach 1, add another like Bora or something, and then you bounce back something for Zephyros, special summon the Bora, and then you can go into an IP off the advantage you've accumulated so far. And using the IP during your opponent's next turn, you can use the Union Carrier and the IP to go into Avermax. And not to mention, you also have a Soulshade Force, which can revive your Forstrix and rank it up into Cyber Dragon Infinity. To Deep Sea Aria, it can generate a lot of advantage if you open up with maybe an Atlantean Prince or Deep Sea Diva or one of the big mermails. There's just so many applications for this. I probably should have gotten rid of one Called by the Grave instead of the Deep Sea Aria. I'll get rid of the spell Abyss Scale actually, because Called really does come in clutch when your opponent tries to ash you. There are multiple games where there have been a few games with my old Deep Sea deck that I've just straight up lost because they ashed my Deep Sea Diva. I couldn't extend my plays from there. but you do need the triple Call by the Grave, and Call by the Grave just negates hand traps. Abyss Scale of Kraken, the only Abyss Scale I use because it negates monster effects, which is really the only good form. You could side deck the other Abyss Scales. You could side deck them. Maybe if you're going up against Eldritches, this Abyss Scale of Mizuchi, I'm pretty sure it can negate Mystic Mine if your opponent plays that. There are just so many uses for this. I recommend running. One thing you have to run in your extra deck is Dragon Buster, which you'll usually just replace off the Thunderbird. Dragon Buster over here, it will stop your opponent from summoning from the extra deck, so your opponent cannot super poly you. Also, even if your opponent tries to use Dark Ruler no more, it's treated as a spell while it's equipped to a monster, so your opponent still cannot bypass its extra deck summoning. So unless your opponent does not just summon from the extra deck outright, or your opponent sphere modes you or kaijus you are pretty good. In some cases, Dragon Buster is straight up better than Thunderbird, but I just like the infinite negate for tech option. This deck does not feature any non-monster removal, spell or trap removal, so just run triple Twin Twister in your side deck. Other things I like to run, Red Reboot. Red Reboot is, of course, just trap negate if your opponent's maybe playing trap tricks. Dark Ruler no more is also a brilliant option. Nibiru, I don't run Nibiru in this deck because I have some bad experience with running Nibiru in my main deck, so I run Nibiru here, and you guys will hate me for this, but I run System Down in my main deck against those this card just came in crazy clutch when I was playing a Cyber Dragon player. I still have no idea how I won. I was straight up losing. I was using my Blackwing deck, but once I system down them, they just straight up resigned because they had no more plays. Yeah, so that's the side deck, by the way. Our extra deck, Cyber Dragon Infinity, you can rank it up off Soulshade Force. 4 Strix will be our summoning. It'll be the monster we summon to go into Y-Strix or Simorgh. Y-Strix will summon Zephyros. You'll only go into Y-Strix if you have Bora the Spear in your hand, because that will actually let you extend your plays. Simorgh, the Bird of Sovereignty, once it special summons Apex Avian straight from our deck, which is our only good way of summoning him. Union Carrier will equip this Thunderbird to our Simorgh, which is how we get, and those two cards are how we get Apex Avian and Thunderbird on the field in the first place. Halqifibrax special summons Fishborg Launcher, which is our fodder to go into the new Bujinki link. And we use Fishborg and Halqifibrax to go into Union Carrier in the first place too, so that's something to remember. IP Masquerena, we use IP Masquerena if on our opponent's turn we can use Link, Union Carrier, and IP to go into Avermax, because one thing to remember is that Union Carrier cannot be used as link material the turn it is summoned. The Bujinki link, Bujinki Ahashima, I think it's pronounced. Usually in this combo you have 1 Dragoon Grave, 1 Dragoon in hand. You can use the 2 Dragoons, special summon them, and that is how you go into 4 Strix in the first place. Avermax, once again, to protect your monsters. Your opponent can easily just beat over Thunderbird if they don't activate the effect of their normal summon monster. So you use Avermax to protect everything, and one of the most perfect boards in this entire deck is having Cyber Dragon Vindy, the Simorglink, Apex Avian, and Avermax. That is probably one of the most perfect boards you can have in this deck. Coral Anemone, it is literally a monster reborn. It's like that one Cybers. I think it's called Splash Mage. Yes, Splash Mage. It came in Eternity Code. It's an insane support card for Cybers monsters and Salamandrates. But we're not talking about that now. Coral Anemone is just a monster reborn for water monsters. Mermaoil Abyssalacia, it can activate your mermaoil effect during your opponent's turn. So you can use stuff like infantry and marksman during your opponent's turn to disrupt their plays. Appaloosa, you can link spam in this deck, so you can easily get a 3 or 4 link Appaloosa. Desert Locust, if my Halky Fibrax survives a turn, Desert Locust just discards a card from your opponent's turn, which fits in well with this deck's playstyle. With Mooling Glacier, I think I took out my Deep Sea Minstrel. Minstrel also destroys your opponent's hand, which is great. So yeah, that's why we use Desert Locust. In my opinion, Desert Locust is better than Formula Synchron, because discarding a card from your opponent's hand on their turn is better than drawing a card. But once again, your opponent chooses the card they want to discard. So if your opponent runs Shaddolls, it triggers their effects or Dark Worlds. When your opponent runs Dark Worlds, this is infinitely more scarier to use Desert Locusts, because then it'll be treated as using a monster, your opponent's monster effects, and your Dark Worlds have some very scary effects when discarded by an opponent's card. Wait, let me get an example right here. This card destroys 2 cards your opponent controls and special summons itself from the grave if discarded by your opponent's turn. This can draw 2 if it's discarded by your opponent's card effect. Let's see. There's another one. Snow can search a Dark World monster. Wait, what's that do? Yeah, this searches another Dark World monster. No, that's only... You know what, I'm going off topic again. Desert Locust is scary, but we use Mooling Glacier, so I chose to use that over Formula Synchron. And lastly, we have Adamaspator Resin Dragite. Dragite is a negate, because we have tons of water monsters in our graveyard, so we can pretty easily get that negate on the field, and it just provides so much value. So thank you for watching this deck profile, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye bye.